Yeah, yeah. Laughing, acting, trying to make it what I'm chasing. Just might get me there. Oh, oh. Waiting, waiting, feeling crazy. Oh, oh, what a joy you bring. I can't wait to get out there and let my soul ring, 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 ring.
Yo, what's good? Welcome to another episode of Feelin' It Fridays, where I share with you some songs that I am really feeling in hopes to inspire you to go out and buy some new music, look up some new artists, become a fan, and most importantly, inspire some new dance, because dancing makes the world go round. So as you can see, I have moved locations yet again, and sorry for taking so long to get another video up. With the House Dance Festival and Christmas and the holidays and lots of other music projects and dance projects and things going on, I want to do this because I enjoy doing this, not because I have to do this. So yeah, if you're always tentatively waiting for the Friday Feelin' It Fridays episode, yeah, here's one for you finally. So let's get back to what we're actually here for. And what we're here for is Feelin' It Fridays. And the song on this episode is actually called What Am I Here For by the DangerFeel Newbies off of NDATL, which is Kai Alcé's record label down in Atlanta, but by way of Detroit and also New York, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm a huge fan of Kai Alcé. The dude is brilliant. He also can mix like a motherfucker. If you ever get to catch him live in the club, he's just an incredible DJ as well. And this is a song that's been out for a little while, and I think it was reissued recently on Defective or one of those imprints, maybe Strictly or something like that. I'm actually not really sure. The reason why I wanted to share this song is because growing up in the Bay Area and being a part of the club scene out here and being a house head, there was two very drastic, different kind of ways that you would slice house music. And I mean, it's probably way more detailed and way more intricate in the nuances of things. And I'm obviously not tremendously old. I've only been going out for maybe 15, 16 years, give or take. And that's really, the early years is really suspect. It wasn't until I was maybe 19 or 20 did I really start getting it in. So I haven't been clubbing that long in retrospect to the culture of the Bay Area, going back for, you know, many decades in terms of house music and club music. So, you know, I'm relatively fresh on the scene. I am a DangerFeel newbie. So what I'm getting at here is that partying in Oakland, I've always felt there was this kind of old soul, old funk, old R&B type of sound that kind of is the bedrock for what people are playing and what a lot of the parties that I would frequent and I would go to. It's not the only thing there, but it tends to be what people really come out for. And it tends to be the kind of crowd that I feel most comfortable in. And dance-wise, I think it's shaped quite a bit of my dance in a way that I don't necessarily know if dancers today, just starting, are identifying with that. And that's probably just because the music has a little bit more of a grown-up personality to it, without trying to sound like I'm the old guy talking down on the young guys. As a dancer, having this older soul cemented in the sound that I'm choosing to try and express myself to, and that's really where my foundation is with house music, it just speaks and creates a different sense of music and a different sense of patience with the music. And this song is a great example of that because of some of the cool things about it. All right, so let's get into this song. The song starts out with a really straightforward drum kit, kind of right there. It's all the pieces are there right away. You have the kick drum going, which is setting that backbeat. You have the hi-hat that's coming on the off. It's kind of that disco combination, which we see in a lot of house and disco and so on. Then you have this tambourine that's creating a lot of, I always talk about this, it's filling up that empty space. It's creating energy. You have these, I don't know if they're rim shots or block hits or something, but it's this kind of syncopated sound that's taking place, that's filling in some kind of polyrhythmic expression that kind of gives you this, I don't know, to me that's kind of the funk versus the other stuff is kind of the disco, if you will. And then the piano comes in, bam, 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 and it already sets that melody, and those chords being stabbed and not sustained are adding a bit to that funk and that groove as to where the backbeat is kind of driving, right? So you have energy with funk and groove right off the bat, and then the vocal comes in with these really simple kind of just vocally fills. It's almost like, again, an instrument. And what's interesting is right off the bat, and the kind of Moog kind of filtered sounding bass line comes in as well with its kind of off syncopated funk notes. All of this together is right away. There isn't kind of this generalized mix-in point with this version of the song that I'm sharing with you. There isn't this general mix-in point that's elongated for a minute with a breakout or a drop that then drops into the meat part of the track. This is put the record on the table and listen to the song. It isn't, this mix, this version isn't made, at least in my mind, to make it easy for DJs to be able to play and do a set. And by virtue of kind of your traditional song structure, it gets going right out of the box. And dance-wise, when we're not expecting to hear this in terms of the, a set throughout the night, although capable DJs can make things happen or make their own edits, we get a feel for what, in the musical sense, we'll call as the pocket. So musicians, I've heard oftentimes refer to the pocket as the timing of the groove. And the pocket is opinionated, right? It means that something is going to fit just right. It isn't too early, it isn't too late. But depending on the song structure, being early or being late sometimes is the right amount. And that's also what people would say is what makes something funky, right? If it's just not always perfect. But this song, and this is kind of the theme, I think, besides the vocal for me, and hopefully I can condense this explanation as to what makes this a dance-heavy track and an expressive song for me to dance to, is that the pocket and the vocal do it all. This song, the melodic pieces, the rhythmic components are so in the pocket, it's so glued together. Whether this was by intelligent design, which I can assume that Kai Alcé was the brain behind this. I do know the other musicians, Chris Irvin playing piano and Quinn Masonry playing the saxophone, which we'll touch on a little bit later. I'm sure there was a huge kind of added production element to that. Obviously those are two very important parts of the song besides the vocals. But I assume production-wise, just from being a fan of Kai Alcé, really kind of engineered how this whole thing turned into a song. And whether he did this by intelligent design or by complete, happy, awesome accident, everything fits so heavily in the pocket that the groove is just deep. It's like when you're driving on the freeway at like 65 because everybody abides by the law when they're driving, and you're just feeling good about your day, looking straight ahead. You see what's going on, but really in your mind, you're enjoying something else. You're thinking about how cool it's gonna be to go out later that night, or how you're really hungry and you can't wait to bite into that sandwich, or I don't know, whatever it is. And you just slam into this crazy pothole on the freeway. And no matter how dope your car is, you end up feeling like you just, dropped your ass cheeks down onto a cold metal plate. So you just hit that trench in that bottom so hard that no matter what you were doing, no matter what was happening, you get this shot of adrenaline because it wakes you up. The pocket for this song is like hitting that pothole on the freeway over and over and over again. You cannot sit in that pocket as a dancer. You cannot feel like, God, I'm just falling into this groove when you dance to this song. And if you aren't feeling like that, I would challenge you to then look and think about this and say, man, am I able to feel this song as a dancer? You know, I might enjoy it, but am I able to really feel this song? Because that groove is everything in this song. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful aspects, but this is what for me makes it just undeniable. The minute I hear those first two notes, it's just undeniable. The piano, the bass line, and that vocalist coming in. And it is the most expressive, beautiful component about this song, is just that pocket, that groove, and how deep it is. And right off of that kind of first vocally intro, we go into what I guess could be considered like the bridge or the chorus for the song. And we get this, an accompaniment of arrangement that fills in with the violin, and you just get a sense of warmth that washes over the song for that chorus hook, that what am I here for? You know, blah, blah, blah. It fills in. Everything fills in. We went from something simple with the deep pocket to now we're kind of filled in on top and we're floating through. And, you know, I would say that the violin or whatever that kind of string arrangement that's there that's making up that sound really kind of takes you, and it's like putting on that you're down sinking in the ocean and all of a sudden you somehow got a life vest and it like pulls you back up to the top. That's really where, you know, I feel like I went from stepping hard and just sinking inside of my groove to now I'm floating around on top. And, you know, to me, I see these beautiful lines, and because I always associate strings and sustaining violins and things as like these beautiful flowing lines that create that type of movement, at least in my mind. So really, really interesting, because a lot of the times I feel like, you know, I guess traditionally in pop songs, you know, the chorus or the hook is supposed to be the most gravitating thing. But in this song, I feel like it's the opposite. The chorus like rescues you and kind of like pulls you up, and then when you're dropping into those verses and back down in the pocket, that's where all of a sudden it becomes the hook. It's like this song somehow magically was done backwards to normal song structure, where the hook is the meat and potatoes, the verse segments of the song, and that chorus is really just a breath of fresh air. And that's what I feel like when I dance to it. Like I gotta fucking wreck the hell out of the verses, and I gotta really, you know, come with something groovy and dope. And then that chorus allows me to kind of reset and take away from what I was just laying down, because I'm about to go back into it on the other side of that chorus.
What am I here for? Let me know so I can run out the door. Yeah. What am I here for?
And it's good that you get that break, because when the song jumps off of that hook or off of that chorus, it dumps right into that walking, talking to, oh, that verse. If the pocket wasn't already deep enough with all the instrumentation and the groove and those little piano fills that are just, they're just so perfectly in time, the vocal now is all of a sudden like, yo, I can play that game too. And the singer, which I wish I tried to look a little bit, maybe I'll find it before I put this video up and I'll put it on the screen, who that vocalist just nailed it. It's like how could everybody have such a dope sense of timing? Like, how did this happen? It's just, for me, this is just like the epitome of that damn pocket that I'm talking about. The groove was just nasty. And this is where it all is for me. That groove is so deep that vocal commands my movement's focus. It's smooth, but it's direct, it's concise. The notes are chopped, and the way that it's presented even feels like the words that are coming out of his mouth, you know, walking, talking. Oh, it just, I feel like I can act out this song and it makes sense. I feel like I'm wearing platform shoes and I'm walking down the street like as hard as I can because them shits are heavy and the song is so funky. That's the embodiment that I have with my movement and my characteristics, is I see myself in almost like a different time period. Like, you know, my dance doesn't exist now because this song, even though it's relevant and it's a new song, it doesn't exist in today's context. It has an older world about it. It's like, you know, it's a reincarnation of American soul music.
Walking, talking, street sides rocking, I can't wait to see my baby. Yeah, yeah. Laughing, acting, trying to make it what I'm chasing. Just might get me there. Waiting, feeling crazy. What a joy you bring.
And then we get to the point in the song where it's like the midway point, at least in this version, where Quinn Masonry, I hope I'm saying his name right, comes in with the saxophone ad-libs, which then turn into a solo, and it basically bridges out the song. It becomes the new vocalist. And just like how everything had us like so deep in the pocket, we get kind of more of that stringed accompanied arrangement, and we get that fill now that's kind of bringing us back up to the surface. And it turns in, for me, movement wise, it's something where I was heads down, and now all of a sudden I'm back up top and I'm floating around with that saxophone. I mean, at least for me, with saxophone and trumpet solos and things, sometimes they can be a bit too much, or the repetitive of them can be a bit too corny. I don't know, to me it just sometimes is overdone, just for the sake of them being bright and having energy. But this is so tastefully done, and it has kind of this, I know it's not muted, but it has this almost muted texture to it for the fact that it sits so evenly within the rest of the context of the song. And the groove is perfect. The notes that are chosen are perfect. It just really came through. It feels very human. I don't know if it was played straight through or, you know, dubbed or punched in a few takes, or if, you know, if Kai Alce and whoever else may have been on the production tip did some kind of rearranging of things, of the audio. It's just really tastefully done, and like I said, it really inspires me to float up top and kind of groove on top of that saxophone. And you know, Quinn Masonry, hats off to you, sir. It's dope. And I'm just gonna jump right to kind of the ending segment of this and describe one more thing that I think is appealing. Towards the end of the song, the saxophone and so Quinn Masonry and Chris Irvin on the keys, they begin to kind of like play this, you know, it's weaving. I see in my mind like this, you know, it's somewhat call and response, but it's really these two tracks kind of intermingling between like these nice little runs of the keys and nice little runs of the saxophone, and they add just for, again, that really like human soul kind of feeling. And it really is a groove. It's slightly funky, but it's just grooving, and with the backbeat having such a deep pocket, it makes for a really beautiful musical way to bring out the last tail of this song. So I mean, considering, you know, there isn't a million little nuances and sounds, you know, this is a very, to me, I would call this organic instrumentation. There isn't all these little textures and sound design concepts that you may be looking to create really unique new expressive movement to. Rather, this is this goes back to a song where you have to explore the feeling. And like I said at the beginning, if you just inside don't feel like you're in that pocket, or you don't have that groove for this song, you're probably not dancing to it well. This is a song that you cannot fake your movement. You have to feel it. This isn't a exploratory, expressionist, let me see what I can figure out type of song. This song is meant to be enjoyed in accompaniment of many people at the same time. People are meant to sing this song together. They're meant to mime reaction. They're meant to fall into the giant chasm of the Grand Canyon of the song's pop. Yo, I am hella sorry about that weird cut right in the middle of talking passionately about this song, but my camera turned off for reasons unknown. Anyways, the song What Am I Here For by the DangerFeel Newbies. The pocket is deep, the groove is dope, the song is awesome. If you're feeling these videos like I'm feeling this song, please like, comment, subscribe, share some music that I should check out. Let me know what you're thinking. See you next time. Peace.
What am I here for?